Hi, I'd like to give you an overview on the final project and what you'll need to do and the individual labs, the PowerPoint 1 through 4 labs. First of all, I've got a new set of headphones, so if there's any problems hearing me or anything, they're wireless, and so I'm not really used to them. So let me know if there's any problems. If you go to lab module 13.1, you see the lab directions down here, and this is labs for PowerPoint 1 through 4 and the individual PowerPoint requirements. So I'm going to open this up, and when you open it up, what you're going to see is it's about 4 pages, and you've got the objective here. It's for you to become familiar with the program. You can take a look at it. The subject of the PowerPoint presentation is a topic of your choice. You can choose whatever you want. You can choose to do one on your family. You can choose, if you're in automotive, you can do it on a car you've repaired. You can do it on a trip you took or a trip you want to take. You can do it on your major, anything else you want. Just so it is school appropriate, and like we say, no crude or lewd content. Should be about 10 slides, and the length of the presentation should be about 10 minutes. Make sure that the content is concise. So what we mean by that is don't put a lot of wording on your slides. If you remember, my slide trip of Europe had very little writing on it, so that you can talk more about it, and they don't just read the presentation. Then I'm going to show you how to do an oral presentation on it, how you can actual video what you want to talk about. We've got the requirements down here. You can take a look at those as you can. And all of your video information, you will be doing peer reviews, 4 peer reviews, worth 25 points each. Remember I said that there was quite a bit of points here. If you look here, your oral presentation is worth 50 points, and back up here, your features portion of it and the presentation itself is worth 50 points. So this is a total of 200 points. So that's why we give you so much time the last 4 weeks to really stop and do some work on this. There's all your feedback. This is how it is graded. So we've got here how it's graded. And here is the, just like on Excel and on Word, Lab 1. Here's the first part of it. What it is basically is very, very rough. What I want to see on there is that you've started making your PowerPoint slides. And from this, I'm going to be able to see what you've chosen as a topic to make sure that it is school appropriate. And it needs to show that you've shown some kind of effort to think through what you're going to do. If you have any colors, make sure they complement each other. And your sizes, how important it is for the font size to be large enough to read from the back of a room. Then as we go to lab 2, 3, and 4, we're going to get more complicated and start working on some of these other things. But so that's what you will find in your lab directions. We have samples out here you can take a look at. There's some samples here of what other people have done in the past. I'm trying to think with this. You can see what other students have chosen. This one chose scuba diving, and as you can see here, he even looked at if there's careers in scuba diving, which he was very interested in scuba diving. It was very interesting. So there's a couple of samples out there that you can look at to see what is there. So what I want to show you here now, this is when you open up now PowerPoint, you will come up to a blank screen here, and you'll come up to 2 boxes. This is a standard that will come up. Now these are called placeholders. These are holding places for information. And in order to add that, it's Excel, you add it into cells, right? This one you add into a placeholder. So I'm going to pretend that I want to do a presentation on my career. And I chose accounting. So in this other box down here, I'm going to put accounting. Okay, now what I'm going to do and what I want you guys to do right away is I want to create a footer here. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab just like other programs. And here is the header and footer. And I'm going to put the slide number. Isn't that a lot easier? And I'm in the footer, I'm going to put my name. And I'm going to put AT10. And the section number is 34242. I'd like to have you do that. You can apply to all slides. You can apply to just one slide. So I'm going to apply it to all slides, but I'm going to go back in here to header and footer and show you something else. There is the slide header and footer, which you see that now shows on the slide down here. You also have a notes and handout. If you want a header on your notes and handout, you can do that. And you can put your page number, and if you want a footer on the handout, you can also put a footer there. But keep in mind that if you put your footer and header here on the notes and handouts, it's not going to appear on the slides unless you put it here on the slide tab. So we're going to apply that. Now, how do I add another slide? And from here, I can put, what I want to put is with a certificate. And I want to change that. I'm going to back up here and I put careers with just a certificate. Boy, I'm not spelling here. Okay, so I can put careers with a certificate. I'm not going to start listing these. Remember, your first rough draft is just to show me an outline of what you're going to do. So I'm going to leave this placeholder. Now, this is a good point for me to tell you guys something about the difference between a placeholder and an object. We've got two boxes here, right? This box up here is no longer a placeholder. It is called an object because I have something placed into it. It could be a picture, it could be text, it could be a graph, it could be anything, but there's something in the box. It then becomes an object. A PowerPoint presentation is a group of objects. So you can have an object without ever clicking into one of these boxes. Let me show you what I mean. I want to delete this. Another way that you can insert a new slide is on the Home tab, right over here in the Slides group. I can go to New Slide, and I can insert a blank slide. Now, on this blank slide, you see there's no placeholders for me to put information into. But I can go to my Insert tab, and I can go to Clip Art. I can type in accounting and click Go. Well, I happen to want to add this symbol. This is a standard accounting symbol. You know, the basic accounting cycle. You see there now I have one object on this page, and it never was a placeholder. So that's a different way to add an object. So if I go over here and I want to add a new slide, look at these different formats. You can have one a title, two titles. You can have one with a slide and content. This is where it's setting up placeholders for you. Otherwise, you can do a blank one. You can do any of these setups. So it's whatever you want. So I can just press enter here and keep adding new slides. There's another way to add new slides here. And what I was going to do on this new one, what I really want, I found it pretty convenient here to have this title and content. So my first one was careers with a certificate. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put careers with an associate's. There. It's careers with an associate's degree. And I'm going to enter another one, and I'm going to put careers see if I can spell it right, with a bachelor's degree. I think you're getting the idea of how I'm going to proceed with my presentation. So, and this is what I'm looking for on Lab 1. This is really all you have to do. If you want to work with some colors, what you can do, oops, I'm pressing too many buttons here. If I want to change the colors of this font, I can either highlight this whole thing, or the easier way, if I click on the outside edge, that highlights everything inside of here. And I can make this, green's a good color for accounting, isn't it? Green says positive. I can make it bold. I can make it larger. I think I want it smaller so it stays all on one. So I'm not going to make, I can make these, each slide, the colors different. All of the slides don't have to be the same color, but just make sure that they blend in together. So when you look at the Lab 1 instructions, that's really as far as you need to go right now. If you want to go farther, you can, but this is all you're required to do. So we'll pick up from here on the next lab.